Guess what I've been doing this morning? I've been watching clips and lots of clips of Brian Brobbey. While my Tim Steiden video was saving, I thought, let's get clued up. So I've been watching him score goals, take shots and miss the target, doing dribbles, creating chances. I've been researching because Brian Brobbey could be our striker and our first signing of the January transfer window. And yes, I thought we'd sign Andre Silva. I predicted two players in particular we'd sign. We're going to sign neither of them. However, sometimes I'm pleased to be wrong with my predictions, and this could be one of them. But, and it's a big but, I'm a little bit concerned regarding some of the details of this deal. So whilst Brian Brobbey to West Ham, I'm all for it, but the deal has to be right, and I'm worried it won't be. That's what we're going to be discussing. Please do subscribe if you're new to Hammers Chat. It's free and takes 2 seconds. And also drop a like on the video as well by clicking the thumbs up. It's completely free. Helps out the video, helps out the channel. Makes me very happy. Let's get 1,000 likes again. Every time I mention it, we've been doing it. Let's keep doing it. It pleases me. Anyway, yesterday, so we've been linked to Brian Brobbey for a little bit, but yesterday this man said that Spurs were after him as well. Fabrizio Romano said, understand Tottenham have also asked for Brian Brobbey loan deal conditions. He's one of the options being considered, while West Ham are already in direct talks with Ajax for loan plus obligation. But this man said it's not true. He said Tottenham aren't in for Brian Brobbey. It's a smokescreen. Don't worry about it. West Ham are the team leading the bid. But last night, this man, Mike, who is a Dutch reporter, said that Brian Brobbey had been spotted in London and he took a 10-7 plane. So Mike is claiming that he is currently in London. So Brian Brobbey is in London right now. And it looks like it will be for a move, and he wants to move to the Premier League, but it's just a case of which club. However, Fabrizio Romano later updated saying that he doesn't think Tottenham is in the running. But this man is claiming the deal is 90% done. This man on your screen right now is claiming the deal between Brobbey and West Ham's done. He wants to come. West Ham need to sort the finances out with Ajax, and then Graham Potter could have his first signing of the January transfer window. 90% done, according to the guy on your screen. I believe it. I do believe it, because if we go back to, the Andre Silva deal being reported by Plettenberg, it was Brian Brobbey was offered up as an alternative to, and there's a couple of other people like Nick has linked us to Brian Brobbey. There's a lot of links going on, and I do believe that we are interested in him, and I believe I was perhaps incorrect with my prediction that Andre Silva would be the signing of the window. Backup option remains backup option. Brobbey remains the number one target. Now, the finances to sort is what worries me really, because whilst all this reporting has been going on, a lot of it has also contained what Fabrizio Romano has said, which is there would be an obligation to buy. Now, Ajax turned down substantial sums of money for Brobbey in the summer just past, which is understandable. He just come off the back of another really good season with Ajax. A lot of clubs wanted him. I can see why they wanted to keep hold of, at that point, what was one of their better players, one of their top talents. Now, coming into this window, he's not had a great start to the season. I say start, we're beyond start now. He's not had a great season thus far. 1 goal so far for Ajax. Now, I don't know the mitigation around that. I don't know if he's just playing poorly, if Ajax are playing rubbish, although I can see they're quite high up the league table. So I don't know if there's excuses that are legit and applicable to the form or lack of form for Brian Brobbey this season. But coming into this window, obviously some clubs want him. And Ajax, understandably, are trying to make sure that it's worth it financially for them. So by the sounds of it, Ajax are willing to loan out Brian Brobbey, but it must have an obligation to buy for 30 million euros. That makes me nervous. I don't like loan deals where we must buy the player, unless it's... There's 2 different ways here, isn't there? You've got someone like Todibo, perfect example. He's on loan. We've got an obligation to buy him if we stay in the Premier League and he plays 5 games. So he's already met the threshold of appearances. It's just West Ham avoid relegation. We must buy him for 40 million euros. Now, I don't mind that obligation to buy, because we were just delaying buying him, essentially. We wanted to sign him. We've spent a lot of money. we're just simply moving the payment structure of the deal. We're just knocking it further down the line. And in a weird way, you get your player for an extra year as well in terms of his contract. If he signs a 5-year contract, you get the loan, then the 5-year contract. So it's a 6-year deal, essentially. So I don't mind it when it's someone you want to buy, you're just moving the payments. That's all you're doing. So take this window, we decided that, just hypothetically, this isn't real, hypothetically, John Duran was the man, right, we'll get him on loan with an obligation to buy for 75 million in the summer. But I don't mind that obligation. But when it's what this is, which is we want to loan him, we want to just use him for the remainder of the season, and we may want to buy him in the summer, depending on how he gets on and how he fits into Graham Potter's team, how he gets on in England, we may wish to buy him. But when that becomes an obligation, I get a bit nervous, because if it doesn't work out and over the next few months it's not great, you're committed to buying a player for 30 million euros that perhaps you weren't keen on. And the reason I think we're maybe not keen on him is because, to quote David Sullivan, the money is there for the right player. Now, I don't necessarily believe that per se, but let's just take that at face value. This is the club's claims. Put to one side what you believe and what you think for a second here. These are the claims from David Sullivan. When ex-West Ham employee asked Sullivan for clarification over the John Duran deal and got told that we'd made a bid, but it's too expensive, an ex-West Ham employee said, well, does that mean we've got the 57 million to spend elsewhere? And the response was, for the right players. We're going to go above FFP, we're going to break our limit, but ignoring that, the money is there. The club are claiming money's there. So, according to them, there's nothing stopping us from purchasing Brian Brobbey if he was someone we felt was the right striker for us. And I struggle to believe that we think that. I think as a loan deal, I'm all for this because for reasons I've discussed in other videos, I don't think we need to buy next season's striker now. I think we need to sort of evaluate the squad. I think we need a striker in to help us out between now and the end of the season. But I would much rather we kept our powder dry, and in the summer, Potter with Macaulay has had a few months to look at what we've got and what we need and identify players that could come to us in the summer. Give them time, because that's not something either have been afforded. Potter's only been here a couple of weeks and he's already had 3 matches. He's not had a lot of time with the current squad. Macaulay's just joined West Ham officially yesterday. I appreciate it's maybe a bit easier when it's buying players, because you'd assume when you pick up someone that was involved in player recruitment at Chelsea, he comes with a list of players in his back pocket. But I made that assumption with other people that rocked up at West Ham, and that didn't come to fruition. Well, it did, in the form of Konstantinos Mavropanos. So maybe that's not always a good thing. But my point I'm badly making is, I think what we need in this transfer window is just short-term fixes. And I think what Ajax are trying to do is force us into spending 30 million euros on a short-term fix. Now, he might work out, and that 30 million euros might look like a bargain in the summer. We might be laughing, oh, this guy's come in and done a Jesse Lingard or Thomas Souček or Jared Bowen. Brilliant. But that's the gamble, and it's an expensive one. Because he could also come in and do a Calvin Phillips or a Danny Ings. Well, do we have to have him? And 30 million euros is a lot of money. And in the summer, I'd be worried that we're already committing 40 towards Tadebo, 30 towards Brobbey possibly. It's 70 million euros we've spent in the summer. And the squad hasn't changed. We will have those 2 players now. We will have spent 70 million to keep the squad as it is going into next season. So I'm not keen on it. I pray that what Romano's reporting here with obligation is false. This guy here, his claims was that all that's left is the finances with West Ham. I'm hoping that, and I expect that is what they're negotiating over at the minute, the terms of the loan, not necessarily the loan fee, not necessarily West Ham paying his wages. I assume we'd have no issues paying 100% of his wages, so that won't be the problem. It'll be the obligation to buy or the option to buy. And I hope West Ham win on this one. My worry is we won't, and it's an obligation, and I just pray that it turns out to be good. But yeah, I'm I mean, I'm a bit excited, but I get excited whenever we sign any players. It's an exciting thing to see new players at your team. But anyway, upon my research, when I was watching him score all these goals, I thought, crikey, I'll give you a little bit of analysis. I've only seen clips, right? It's nothing fancy. I've just spent, I don't know, half an hour on Wisecout watching his clips of his game. Very instinctive in the 18-yarder. Seems to back in defender. Outside the 18-yarder, plays on the shoulder of defenders. Looks like he's got a good bit of acceleration and burst of speed about him. Quite strong, decent in the air in terms of being involved in the build-up play. So he looks quick and powerful outside the box. Inside the box, he backs into defenders and holds the ball up quite well. A lot of his goals come from shrugging defenders off or backing into them, receiving the ball, and sort of turning it while on the pivot. Quite an instinctive player inside the 18-yarder, I think. So I had a little look. None of his goals has been scored. He's not scored a goal from outside the 18-yard box yet. So there's a little bit of chicharito going on. Remember when we signed him, he hadn't scored a career goal outside the 18-yarder. So he's got a bit of that about him. But when I was watching him, it was like left foot, right foot, head. I thought, crikey, this guy's scoring quite varied as to how he's scoring his goals. So I thought I'd ping up the numbers for you. So as you can see here, he's scored 49 goals for Ajax. I'm about to say Leipzig. He didn't score just for Ajax. And for the Netherlands, he grabbed one in the Nations League as well for his country. So this obviously doesn't include his under-21 statistics for the Netherlands. But so senior football, Ajax, Netherlands, 49 goals, 28 with his right foot, 14 with his left foot, and 7 with his head. So he is quite varied when it comes to his finishes, and it's something that was quite obvious when watching his clips. And I have to say that Taylor was the one that looked quite impressive. Few clips had Kudus involved, but a few clips also had Jordan Henderson involved as well. But there you go, you can see his statistics as well. 18 goals last season in 30 games, 13 in the season before that in the 22-23 season. And I've seen some Ajax fans quite happy that he's leaving, and I think that can sometimes be a reflection of how he is at that club. But then again, if you were to look at West Ham fans' reactions to, say, Said Benrahma leaving, not that he's been great, but maybe Nath Aguerd's a better example. I think a lot of people were possibly okay with Aguerd leaving, or saying that he's a poor defender, and Real Sociedad fans will be watching him now thinking, hang on a minute, this guy's class. So you can only take it so far, but Ajax fans don't seem too upset that he's possibly leaving. If anything, I'd suggest they seem quite excited that he's possibly leaving. But I refuse to believe that someone that's 22 years old is finished. I don't believe it. He's had 2 decent seasons, albeit in a weak league with Ajax. But that's why I think a loan is a good move here. Let's see if he's suited to the Premier League. Certainly his attributes from the clips I've seen, he looks like he'd be okay with the pace and the power of the Premier League. But is he good enough? I don't know. I'm not going to base my evaluation off of 15-second clips of what his actions during a game. But the good thing is when you watch them is he's going to score, because it says he scores a goal. The clip's 15 seconds, 20 seconds long. You can do like sort of player cam with your own eyes, really. The ball's out in the left wing. You can just watch his movements and stuff, because I don't care who's crossing the ball. I'm just watching him. He looks good, but obligation to buy for 30 million, I think that's a bad deal. So an option to buy, yes, 100%. I like having those, but I'd rather have no option than an obligation, because if things go wrong, you can get out of it. You can still go negotiate with him in the summer if he turns out to be pretty good. You can still go try and buy him. But if he turns out crap, you can't send him back. You're stuck with him. And 30 million euros, this isn't 10 million euros. This is not punt money. This is substantial money. And I think that would be our sort of big striker signing in the summer transfer window. We're doing it now. Not too keen. Anyway, before I go, please do drop a like on the video. Sky you to Hammers Chat. And I'm going to do a couple of plugs now. So if you don't like the plugs, I'll catch you later. Thank you for joining me. But for those that don't mind plugs, one, Tim Steiden video. It's on Hammers Chat Patreon. Patreon.com/Hammers Chat. Last week I said to patrons, pick a topic. Tim Steiden, players on loan, or other. Tim Steiden 1. So I've finally recorded it. It is quite long, though. I didn't mean it to be half an hour. It was unscripted, a candid chat. It's over there. And second is for Hammerbites, our West Ham YouTube channel. They put up a video yesterday celebrating their success of 1,000 subscribers, and they are good. They are really good at what they do. They use AI and Photoshop storytelling. It's a completely different format, completely different style of YouTube videos for West Ham United fans. Highly recommend it. I came across them a while ago, and I've been watching all their content since, and they did a video yesterday about how they hit 1,000 subscribers. So massive congratulations to them. I'll put a link to their channel in the description below in the pinned comments of this video. So they've got 1,000 subscribers right now. Let's see if we can get them a few more from you lovely lot that's watching. You won't regret it. Good channel. Right, I'll catch you in a bit.